Hi, Geezy. Totally rocking it with the eyebrows, because I've been up all night watching that Bloodmoon. And yeah, boo, I'm doing a video. Well, I'm at least doing, I guess, a introduction intro while Gizzy kicks my ass. Don't bite, Mama! I just did a really brief effect of the Libra Eclipse on every single sign for the house that I kind of just summarized it a bit because I actually just did it off the top of my head. I also clipped some interesting information about ancient astrology with the blood moons as well. I'm sick of saying all the time. Right, Kizzy? But anyway, I also clipped a little bit of the observatory photo of it in the beginning. You get it, that it's blood moon, it's red, whatever. So, anyway, here is the footage from at 5 o'clock this morning. Alright, so it's hard to see, but here is the nearly lunar eclipse that is in Libra. It's the lunar eclipse that is to be paired with the Pisces solar eclipse that happened in mid-March. And it is conjuncting with the node that is part of the T-square of the ongoing Uranus-Pluto square. In ancient astrology, a blood moon was supposed to signify the fall of an empire, the fall of a king. If you pay attention to a lot of global news going on right now, there's not necessarily the ancient translation going on, but a lot of shifts in power. Eclipse in Libra will be in certain houses for certain signs. For Aries, it'll be in the 7th house of others, so you'll probably likely have some sort of significant relationship change going on, or ending, or transition. And then for Taurus, it would be in the 8th house of longevity, and as I predicted with my brother and a couple other Tauruses I know, that some health ailments will likely come up sometime this month. You'll likely need to go to the hospital for some chronic or severe condition. And then we move on to Gemini. Gemini, you'll have the moon in your 9th house, and that will signify some sort of mental change, mental clarity, maybe mental maturity, or the realization of something coming to an end, to a close, things that no longer serve you. Cancer, it will be in the 10th house of reputation and career. You could be getting a promotion, you could be changing jobs, you could have some sort of spark or influence, either depending on your personal chart, that could be negatively or positively impacting your work and career. Then for Leo, you'll be having it in your 11th house, so your wishes, good fortune, any long-term goals you've been focusing on. This might be the significator to start with those long-term goals, or start with a project that you've been really hoping for, or maybe something that can coincide with friends, a social network, or networking in general. And for Virgo, this will be in your 12th house. Yeah, 12th house. So that's the subconscious, the spiritual house. That's also the house of hospitals, psychiatrics, incarceration, any kind of restraint and confinement, more or less. You could have a realization, have a intuitive flash. You could realize something that you haven't been aware of, or something might just finally click for you, or you just might finally stop being in denial about something and make some appropriate changes. Then we go into Libra. Libra, this lunar eclipse is in your sign, so this will be affecting you substantially, especially since Libras are known for balance, and the less balanced they are, the more difficult their life seems to be for them. This will be in your house of self. You'll be continuing this epic transformation you've been experiencing. Just everything in general, your whole identity has taken some sort of shift. We'll go into Scorpio. Scorpio, this will be affecting your 2nd house of money. So there might be some financial support that will be ending. There might be something starting depending on the aspects in your own personal chart. With the Uranus-Pluto square going on, you might lose some sort of financial security. Then we'll go into Sagittarius. Sagittarius, this will be in your third house of communications. You might pursue some sort of new class. This might have something to do with traveling, transportation, some sort of way that you commute. You might get a new car or possibly open up to other ideas of how to be more mobile. And then we'll go into Capricorn. Capricorn, this will be in your fourth house. Capricorn likes to be consistent, in control, and this is your house of home. That is your most vulnerable point. Make sure to focus on inside the home. There might be some new changes, new dynamics of the household, power. You might be moving. You might be selling your property, relocating, etc. Aquarius, so this will be in your fifth house of creativity. This might inspire some sort of new creative pursuit. It also inspires some sort of creative career. You might take on a new creative hobby. You might be getting rid of some hobbies that were a creative outlet for you that are no longer serving you. You may realize that maybe you're collecting a bunch of bottle caps, but now you're starting to hoard them, and even though they're pretty and you might want to put them on your popcorn ceiling for decorative use, might decide against that. That was just an example, by the way. Don't take that literally. Then we look at Pisces. Pisces this is going to be landing in your sixth house. Pisces are known for having a lack of discipline. They're compulsive. They tend to be the addicts and drug abusers of the zodiac. Smoking, eating, addictions, something. Every Pisces has their fix. And unfortunately, a lot of those fixes come with repercussions with your health. And this lunar eclipse is now focusing on your house of health. It also could focus on services. You might find some sort of spiritual awakening to find your higher purposes. Also, keep in mind, I like to focus mainly on the health aspect as opposed to the service aspect of the sixth house. Feeling like you have a purpose is a great thing, especially for Pisces, but also being aware of your own limitations and your own health and your own stability is also important, because how will you serve others if you are not being able to serve yourself? So figured I'd do this quick little brief with how the blood moon in Libra will be affecting you. Like I said, this is 5:06 a.m. Pacific time. I'm in central Washington, so you'll be able to see the little bit of this. It looks like it's about to go into complete totality here soon. Anybody who's watching probably live feeds from an observatory, I think it was in California I watched.
If you are listening from Los Angeles, do not get in your car and come up to the Griffith Observatory, because the rangers will turn you away. The park is closed tonight, and just we intrepid astronomers are here staying up all night to bring this eclipse to you.
It is visible throughout most of North America. Australia, it's also is visible in your area as well.
A lot of times people ask, why don't we get an eclipse every time there is a full moon? If you think of the geometry, as you know, the Earth goes around the Sun, and the moon goes around the Earth. And once a month we have a full moon when the moon is on the opposite side of the Earth from the Sun. And 2 weeks later you get a new moon when the moon is in line with the Sun, and you can't see it at night because it rises when the sun rises and it sets when the sun sets. So you'd think that you get a solar eclipse every new moon and a lunar eclipse on every full moon. But in fact you don't get that. You need a little better alignment than that, because the moon's orbit around the Earth is tilted about 5 degrees out of the plane that is defined by the Earth and Sun. So most of the time, when there's a new moon, the moon is a little above or below the sun. It doesn't cross right in front, and you don't get a solar eclipse. And most of the time, when there's a full moon, the moon is a little bit above or below the shadow of sunlight cast by the Earth out into space. It's not crossing through the shadow. So you don't get a lunar eclipse, you just get a nice big bright full moon. But every once in a while, in what is called, by no coincidence, the ecliptic plane, then you've got all three lined up right in a row. And you get the sun, earth, moon, and in that configuration, the sun casts, the earth casts a shadow from the sunlight, and the moon is right in line. You get a lunar eclipse like you get tonight.
The last time NASA's, you'll probably get a lot better of a shot of this. I think this one's a little bit more clear and easier to see than last year's blood moon, and I hope that with this lining with the Uranus-Pluto square and the last Uranus-Pluto square happening in mid-March, that this will be the last shockwave of all the changes yet to come. Like Rick Levine said the other night at the Astrology Night in Redmond, Washington at Soul Food Books, we will not feel the full ramifications of this night for years to come.